This is a video response to Ozzygp11. I'm going to knock down every single one of your arguments one by one. You say it takes a long time to build a pipeline through states and continents. Now, I will agree with you, that's true. However, it does not take a long time to build a pipeline or a set of pipelines in areas which are conducive to flooding. Let's take this for example. We know periodically that the Mississippi River floods. It doesn't do it every day, but it does do it quite a bit. So that would be a place to put pipelines. Likewise, if you're talking about some of these southeastern states, especially when the hurricanes come up, those are areas that often flood. Build pipelines down there. Now, you say, okay, how are we going to pay for all this? Okay, let's say the government makes that a loan. You build the pipelines. And then the water that is recovered from the pipelines, okay, that's actually shipped out to areas that need it more, okay, we would charge them and pay back the loans with all the money that we would charge the people to get this extra water. Okay, so you say, okay, now you say, well, we don't know where places are going to flood next. There are some places we do know it's going to flood next. Like I said, the southeast coast, the Mississippi River, the northeast has places that flood regularly. If you know places that regularly flood, that's a good place to put a partial pipeline. And then, after you pay off the government loans to pay for these pipes, then you take the profits and you start building more of these pipelines. Okay? And it starts out small at first, but then it gets bigger and bigger. Okay? Now, the only logistic that would not be solved by something like this would be, what do you do with the debris that's picked up during a major flood? Now, that's something that would have to be solved. I agree there. However, you're saying, well, it's very expensive. Of course it's very expensive. We need government loans to start the project. But once that was taken care of, it could turn out to be very profitable. Not only would it put people back to work, that's number one. Number two, agriculture would improve because you would finally eventually get that water to places where it really needs to be. And you could use some of the existing sewer lines in the United States to accept some of that flood water. Not all of it, but some of it. Okay? And like I said, it would start out slowly, but eventually you would get all this pipeline stuff built. You could also get private businesses to chip in to help build all this stuff, especially when they see the economic benefits that will come from it later on. You're talking benefits not only to the gasoline industry, because you would be able to pump water that would grow switchgrass and ethanol fuels like corn and sugarcane, but also to the agricultural industry, because they'd be able to then grow more crops, feed more people, so on and so forth. So yes, it would eventually become profitable. It might take a little while, but it would become profitable. Like I said, more people employed because they'd have to build a pipeline, and then the agricultural and the oil industries would also benefit. So all those points you made up are just way off base. The only one we'd have to solve is what to do with the debris that would come along with the floodwaters. If we can figure out what to do with that, we got a successful way of doing this. And like I said, it wouldn't happen right away, but it would happen. So, to say this would not be an economical thing to do, you're absolutely wrong on that. It could be feasible. We need a lot of help to do it, but it could be done. So, there goes all your arguments, save one. And if you got an interesting idea how to solve all that debris that would come along with it, I'm all ears. Alright, I will tell you more in a future video, so stay tuned.